Good afternoon, everybody. The October 31, 2016 Veterans Land Board meeting will now come to order. Happy Halloween. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our last meeting, July 28, 2016. We have copies of the board minutes in front of both board members, and assuming no questions or comments, we can entertain a motion to confirm approval of those minutes.
I will enter a motion to confirm approval of the minutes.
Motion is made. I second, and the motion carries unanimously to approve the minutes. Next item on the agenda is number 2, as stated.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, for the record, I'm Rusty Martin, Chief Investment Officer. Good to see you again. This item is a non-voting item. It's one that we add to the agenda at every meeting, so we'll have a chance to discuss loan demand and rates in the housing program. Should have a sheet that shows you the current base rate, which we reset every week, is currently 3.95%, which is 31 basis points below the constructed benchmark. For 2016, fiscal year 2016, which ended August 31, we made about $742 million in new housing loans, which was about 98% above fiscal year 2015. And about 40% above the last 3 fiscal years, which averaged about $532 million. We made a little bit over 2,930 loans in the fiscal year. And that was 92% above fiscal year 15 and 36% above the last 3 fiscal years, which averaged about 2,163. Demand during 2015 averaged $31 million a month, and during 2016 it averaged $62 million a month. The average loan size has also increased from fiscal year 14. It averaged $235,000. In 15 it was $246,000. In fiscal year 2016 it averaged $253,000. As you may recall, in fiscal year 2015 demand was somewhat below 2014, and we addressed that in late May of 2015 with a change in the rate setting mechanism, which significantly increased demand for the remainder of that fiscal year. In a normal period, rate locks average about $40 to $50 million a month. However, we were running about $88 million in rate locks per month through December of 2015. And again, as you'll recall, in January of 2016, you authorized me to expand the range of the rate setting spread below our constructed benchmark from 50 to 65 basis points below the benchmark to 25 to 65 below. Since then, I have slowly dialed down the spread to the low 30 basis point range, and we've been successful in slowing the pace of rate lock issuance since then from that $88 million per month to somewhat below $40 million per month, which is at the lower end of the historical average range. Therefore, I'm not requesting any changes at this time. We're going to continue to monitor the program demand and report back to you periodically with any further recommendations. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, it's a non-voting item.
No questions here.
That being a non-action item, we can move to the next item on the agenda, which is number 3, as stated.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, this is our quarterly investment report for the period ended June 30, 2016. This also is a non-action item. We place it on the agenda primarily at the request of the state auditors. Second quarter 2016, U.S. GDP increased at an annual rate of 1.4%. That was after increasing 0.8% in the first quarter of the year. Consensus indicates that we should expect average annual GDP growth of 2% for the entire year, and it looks like we're on track for that. Also, during the period, the unemployment rate decreased to 4.9%. That was down from 5% in the first quarter. The Fed left its policy unchanged during the quarter, leaving the Fed funds target rate at 0.25 to 0.50%. Again, this was based upon their view that although there was further improvement in U.S. labor market conditions during the quarter, the expectations are that inflation will continue pushing towards the Fed's 2% target. They expect that economic conditions will evolve in a manner that warrants only gradual increases in the Fed funds rate. And thus, the Fed funds rate will probably remain below levels that are expected to prevail in the long run. But the actual path of the Fed funds rate will depend on the economic outlook indicated by incoming economic data. Our strategy continues to focus primarily on providing the liquidity and cash flow necessary to meet continued loan purchase demand and debt service requirements, and focuses only secondarily on maximizing total return. The portfolio is composed primarily of high-quality commercial paper, short to medium-term treasury, agency debt, and taxable municipal bonds. The duration increased during the portfolio, during the period from 5.26 to 5.95 years. We usually target an average duration of between 3.5 and 4 years. Because the loan demand has been really high, it has taken a lot of the shorter-term assets out of the portfolio, which by extension extends the duration of the portfolio. As far as performance is concerned, and a really good quarter in this portfolio, the total return was 2.02% versus 0.42% on the benchmark. That puts a total return year-to-date at 4.25% versus 1.04% on the benchmark, and the one-year trailing total return is 5.47% versus 0.97% on the benchmark. So really, really good returns. Again, that's primarily related to the longer duration than normal. This is a non-voting item, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions at this
I
time?
have no questions, just a comment. It looks like these numbers are outstanding, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That being a non-action item, next item on the agenda, thank you, Rusty, is number 4 stated.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chamber, members of the board. For the record, my name is Charlotte Mumford. There are no appeals before the board today.
This being a non-voting item, we can move to next item on the agenda, which is number 5 stated.
There were 13 tracts offered during the forfeited land sale online bidding period of September the 6th, 2016 through October 25th, 2016. We received a total of 117 bids, resulting in 11 high bids. Staff is requesting that the board award all high bids that meet qualifications for the land program. The remaining tract will roll over to the Type 2 program. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 5. Next item on the agenda is number 6.
Staff is requesting that the board take forfeiture action on the resolution before you, except accounts where sufficient funds are received to avoid that action. 16 accounts are being presented for forfeiture action today. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't have any questions, so, is this an action item?
It is.
Okay. Then I will so move.
I'll go ahead and second. Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 6. Next item on the agenda is number 7 as stated.
Staff is requesting that the board take action on the resolution before you. The resolution lists 8 accounts to be considered for forfeiture action due to a tax suit. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions?
On the first person on there, B. Mays, where the delinquent tax amount is $807.33. Is there any sense that that amount could be made up?
The delinquent tax amount? Yes, we'll continue working with all of the account holders to see if there's some resolution with the delinquent taxes.
Okay. I'll move.
I'll go ahead and second. Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 6. Next on the agenda is number 7 as stated.
Staff is requesting board take action on the resolution before you. The resolution lists 8 accounts to be considered for forfeiture action.
Actually, for the record, I apologize. We approved, I seconded, motion was made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 7. This is agenda item number 8.
Thank you.
Apologize for that.
Staff is requesting the board take action on resolution before you. The resolution lists accounts to be considered for order for sale. There are 5 accounts on the resolution today. We're requesting the board's authority to pull any account that fully reinstates or enters into a satisfactory repayment agreement prior to the sale date. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I will move to approve item number 8.
I'll go ahead and second. Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 8. Next item on the agenda is number 9, as stated.
Staff is requesting that the board set the next quarterly electronic forfeited land sale bidding period to begin December the 5th, 2016, with the bidding deadline of January 24th, 2017 at 5 p.m.
Okay, I will move to approve.
Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 9, as long as it doesn't conflict with the Super Bowl. Next item on the agenda is number 10, as stated. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Anthony Vargas, Office of General Counsel. The item that we're looking at today is with regard to the 18-acre tract that the board early accepted as a donation from the city of Houston for the future site of the 9th Texas State Veterans Home. Construction Services is now undertaking the planning of the construction of the road and the home. And for the construction of the road and the utilities, water, sewer, and gas, we'll need to dedicate a 20-foot right-of-way adjacent to the 18-acre tract dedicated to the city of Houston for such construction. We'll also need to dedicate utility easements, communications easements such as fiber optics, cable, things of that nature. The location of those easements is not yet known, but if we'll work with the city staff and we'll work with the utility companies to make sure that those easements have a minimal impact to the home and to the Veterans Land Board land. So the request here today is to permission for staff to have the authority to dedicate the easement to the city of Houston, or dedicate the right-of-way for the road to the city of Houston, and dedicate any necessary utility easements for the construction of the home. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
This isn't the map that you have here showing the easements. That's not a final map, right?
This is
We're
not a
just granting
final map,
authority
and
to-
this this map is for your reference. It shows the site of the home and the location of the roadway. And the 20-foot right-of-way would be just at the edge of that roadway between the tract and the actual road.
And the authorities expressly limited to granting it to the city of Houston, correct?
Granting the right-of-way to the city of Houston for the construction of the road. That is in the event they would like to add sidewalks at some point in the future, or they need to do maintenance or need to expand the road at some point.
Okay. When is construction going to begin on this house?
Construction, it's currently under contract for the roadway. We're looking at construction to start late this winter or early spring, and if Jeff Kaufman is here, which he's not, we're looking at late winter, early spring for construction of the roadway, and we're looking at a probability of April for the actual home construction.
Okay.
We have a road contractor, construction contractor under contract, and we are in the process of executing a contract for the construction of the home itself.
Okay, and Houston is going to pay for that?
The construction of the home?
No, the construction of the road.
No, the permanent school fund is paying for the construction of the road. So it's important to note here that the 18-acre tract was formerly situated in a 230-acre tract owned by the permanent school fund. The city of Houston bought the 18-acre site and then turned around and donated that to the VLB. The city bought the tract from the permanent school fund. So the permanent school fund is also in the process while the home construction is being planned. The permanent school fund is also planning development of the overall 230-acre tract. So the permanent school fund is paying for the construction of the roadway.
And not that you have the budget in front of you, but was that initially contemplated in the pro forma budget for the 9th home, for the BLB to carry that expense, or In other words, is this a net benefit
yeah.
because the PSF is?
Yeah, it's going to be a net benefit to the PSF, so staff did go before the school land board and request, I believe it was 2.4 million for the construction of the road, and that is being borne by the PSF.
Do we know what construction's gonna occur on the PSF tract?
On the PSF tract, I understand that some portions of that are under contract for sale. There are plans to construct drainage and retainage ponds. So all of that's under development. Some of it may start right away as early as this spring, and then other remaining portions of the tract as they're sold will be constructed. But as far as an overall timeline for the entire tract, it's not definite. But they are moving on that, and bringing in the road and utilities will go a long way towards that.
All right, well, I will move to approve authority to enter into negotiations to build an easement, or to grant the easement.
And just for clarification, the request is to grant staff the authority to dedicate the right-of-way for the road, and staff to have the authority to grant easements for utilities and communications.
Okay, I will so move.
And I'll go ahead and second that motion. So the motion carries unanimously to approve said item. Next item on the agenda is number 11. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the record, I'm Bill McLemore, the Assistant Executive Secretary. What you have is the end-of-year fiscal year loan production report, and I think Rusty's already covered the good news with you about how good a fiscal year this has been. I think bottom line, I'd like to refer you to the return on investment from our perspective. We had interest income the first full year after these fiscal year closings occurred, about $16 million interest expense that we expect to earn this fiscal year. And our operating budget expenditures was about $1.9 million, so we have a gross return on investment, we say, of about $14.5 million back to the fund this year. I've spread this out both annually by fiscal year and also monthly, so you can take a look at when we have our good months, when we have our bad months for each one of our different programs. Do you have any questions?
On an unrelated matter, Bill, do you have an update on kind of our disaster relief program that we had initiated? Because I think we're coming up on maybe half year into this, and I didn't know, forgot to mention or ask you during the staff briefing.
We've had no other interest in that disaster relief program from the floods since its inception. We had interest of about 3 that never did come to fruition. So we have not come back to the board for an additional recommendation until we see whether or not this is going to be useful for us to spend a lot of administrative time and not produce any outcome. Now, we have not advertised it in paid advertising, but we did get a lot of support, and the county veteran service officers attempted to do that.
All right, these numbers look very positive, so congratulations to you and to everybody.
They worked hard. Good marketing from the land board standpoint, and nice to Rusty to let us have a little more money than he normally would have been available. And we know he's worked hard at trying to make sure that we're able to continue that for some time. Thank you all.
Incredible work. Thank you, Bill. This being a non-action item, and there being actually one more. Okay. We have one more item on the agenda.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, John Berkeley, Deputy Director for the Texas State Veterans Homes. This briefing is informational only and does not require any board action. On May 16th, a request for proposal was released for the construction of the 9th Texas State Veteran Home to be located in Houston. Bids were received in July, but they were substantially over budget. Due to the pending funding of the VA grant in September, the Texas State Veterans Home program requested a conditional award from the VA that was approved on September 2nd. The conditional award gives us approximately 6 months of additional time to value engineer the project and solicit bids. The value engineering is complete, and a new request for proposal for construction was released on October 17th. proposals are acceptable. We anticipate grant funding in March of 2017 and construction to commence immediately upon funding. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
And for the record, this is a non-action item, and this is 11B on the agenda. Apologize for that. I have no questions at this time.
Thank you very much.
This being a non-action item and there being no further business before the board, this hearing is hereby adjourned.